Hi there, my name is Keirnin and I'm a registered dietitian as well as an intuitive card reader. But today we're not going to go into the spiritual aspects of wellness. We're actually going to more go into the nutrition side. So, one of the questions that I get asked a lot as a dietitian is how to lose weight, how to maintain weight, how to anything involving around weight. So, here are the 5 tips that I have that I teach to all of my clients that ask these questions. And I think I really want to preface this by saying that if you're someone who suffers from body dysmorphia, which is you look at yourself and you think you look bigger than you actually are, or you aren't as pretty as you think, as you actually are. You know what I mean? You don't see what you actually look like. So if you're someone who suffers from body dysmorphia or an eating disorder, so whether it's anorexia, bulimia, or binge eating disorder, or any type of disordered eating in general, I just want to start this off by giving you a disclaimer. Those behaviors are not good for you, whether it's physically not good for you, emotionally not good for you, mentally not good for you, it doesn't matter. They are not good behaviors for you. So if you can identify with any of those things that I just said, then this video is likely not a good fit for you. And I would like you to actually just go to your doctor and maybe seek some help, right? I think the majority of us have disordered eating at this point with the way that our food system is and the way that we are taught to eat by either adults or other people. But the fact of the matter is that if you are suffering from an eating disorder or major body dysmorphia, I really request that you stop this video now and just go ahead and get yourself some help, seek a dietitian out, the whole thing. All right, so we'll get into it though. I'm not going to do slides or anything like that because who cares? I'm not going to read off of them anyway. It's going to just have like a bullet point. So that's not my style anymore. I'm not going to do that. Number one, you need to learn to mindfully eat. If you are trying to manage your weight, the number one thing I see is that a lot of people are just overeating and they don't even know it. So mindfully eating means that you step inside your body and you see how hungry you are, you see how full you are, you see if you're even eating the foods that you like. And as you progress on the mindful eating journey, you will find that your body will actually tell you what it needs and you're able to finally listen to it. But for the majority of us who have dieted for years and years and years and been told that what we're eating is bad for us, this is a very lengthy process. So this is actually one of my specialties, is to help women mindfully eat, because we've all been taught to diet and it's really difficult. And this is a journey that I personally have gone through and continue to go through because I didn't know how to mindfully eat. I only knew how to dietitian eat. And when I say dietitian eat, I mean, I was eating my 5 fruits and vegetables and 2, fruits a day and balanced meals all the time. And no, I can't have chocolate until I binged on it. So I was doing that, which is a form of disordered eating. Dieting is a form of disordered eating. Okay. So once you go down this journey, it's going to take time. You're going to make mistakes. But the beauty behind it is that it allows for you to finally, at some point, you'll step into your body and your body will tell you what it needs. It'll tell you how much it needs. And that's the beauty of it, is that we will get back to what our body is actually capable of. We don't actually need to be told what to eat most of the time if we can tap into our own body and what it needs. Some of the tips that I give to patients or clients when we talk about mindful eating is you need to slow down. The majority of us eat our food within like 5-10 minutes. And I mean, how? We don't have time. We were trained this way in school because you needed to eat so you could go play, right? My daughter is experiencing the same thing. You got to eat fast so you can go play more times. We were taught this. It was dinner time, let's go, eat, go to bed, do the whole thing. The problem is that when you are trying to learn to mindfully eat, you got to slow down. Number one, you got to be able to taste your food. And if you're not slowing down, you're not going to taste your food. The other thing is that you're not giving your brain enough time to catch up with your stomach. So there is communication that's happening this way, right? And if you are eating too fast, your brain is going to be like red flags, like, oh my God, we're stuffed, we're stuffed, we're stuffed. But you're already stuffed. Whereas if you slow down, took your time, enjoyed your meal, you will find that A, maybe some of the foods you are eating you don't actually like. B, maybe taking 2 bites of a dessert is enough one night, and then eating the whole dessert the other night is enough. It just depends. You may find those things. And then on top of it all, you will be able to slow your body down so that you can be satisfied, not full. And when I talk about this, the number one thing that comes to my brain is the elastic waistband that we as Americans have now lived in. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I love a good elastic waistband. I wear it most of the time, but I'm talking more of like the Thanksgiving idea that we are supposed to only eat this food once a year in November. And we are just supposed to stuff ourselves until we are so sick to our stomachs, we have to unbutton our pants, right? It doesn't have to be like that. I like to remind patients and clients and you can have a Thanksgiving meal any time of the year. Anytime. You could walk out your door right now and make yourself grab all the ingredients that you need to have a Thanksgiving meal. You could. So why is it that we as Americans just say we can only have this one time a year and we stuff ourselves until we're sick? This is the mentality that we continue to have. I had a client once who would get an entire birthday cake and eat the whole thing themselves because it's only their birthday once a year. And we worked through the fact that, hey, you can get birthday cake every day, 365 days a year. You could get a birthday cake. And that to her was mind blowing that she could go get a birthday cake on a random Tuesday, have a slice, and be okay. So just know that you need to slow down so that you can taste your food and that you can make a lot of these meals that we've stuffed ourselves on pretty much any time of the year. You need to learn your hunger fullness cues. We're still talking about this learning to eat mindfully. This is still step one of weight maintenance, weight management. Okay. You need to learn your hunger and fullness cues. A lot of us will skip breakfast, right? Because we're trying to lose weight. Or our hormones are so crazy because we're so stressed out that we actually don't wake up hungry. That's a red flag and a topic for a whole other time, okay? But a lot of us will skip breakfast, we'll eat a decent sized lunch, we'll eat a decent size or a pretty large dinner, and then something happens at night and they just eat a ton of food. That right there is not normal. And a lot of times that eating a lot of food in the evening time is emotional eating or stress eating. And if you can recognize that that's not a true hunger, you can start to question yourself, which is the number one thing I teach people too, is like, you got to question yourself. Are you actually hungry or are you just stressed because you just got yelled at in a meeting by your boss? So really just start questioning those things. And I'm not going to say that like binge eating, and I hate to say that word, but eating a lot of food at nighttime, once in a while is a bad thing. Like if you want to stay up late and watch a movie and snack on popcorn and candy, like by all means, that is a fun Saturday night, but that shouldn't be every Saturday night. And it definitely shouldn't be every night. So it's just learning that you need to learn your hunger fullness cues. Back to it, right? So your hunger fullness cues, they're different for everybody. It's a spectrum. We ignore our hunger cues until we're hangry, right? That's where that word came from. It doesn't have to be that way. You can eat before you get to hangry and just have completely pissed off everyone around you, right? So learn those hunger fullness cues. There's lots of resources out there. If you need help, obviously I can send you to where you can go for free resources, but it's all out there in the internet. Okay. The last thing I want to talk about with mindful eating is giving yourself grace. You're going to make mistakes when you go through this process. I've been at it for 3 years, I think 3-4 years, and I still make mistakes. I still find myself snacking sometimes and I'm like, why am I even snacking? Oh, I'm bored, or I'm really tired. I didn't get enough sleep last night. So my body's craving carbs. So I'm just eating when really I just needed to rest. So giving yourself grace when you take a step backwards instead of calling yourself a failure and quitting. You're going to make mistakes. It's okay. It's normal. You're human. You're learning, right? All right. So that is mindful eating. That is my tip number 1. Tip number 2, we kind of talked about it already, but eating breakfast. I am a believer in eating breakfast. I really am. And yes, there are studies out there that say that people who eat breakfast tend to be leaner than those who don't. I don't know how those studies planned out. A lot of them, I wonder if it was done by the cereal industry, who knows? I'm not going to look into it right this minute as we talk about this. So just know that I have found that eating breakfast can be very beneficial, especially for women trying to manage their weight. Because as we just talked about a little bit ago, what ends up happening is they have a coffee in the morning or several, and coffee does a couple of things. So number 1, it suppresses your hunger, but then it will make you super hungry later. Okay. So there's that. So if you're just starting your day with caffeine, you're already kind of pushing yourself over the limit where you shouldn't be. But if you are not eating breakfast, by the time you get to lunch, you're really hungry. By the time you get to dinner, you're also really hungry, and you're more likely to overeat throughout both meals and even in the evening. People who skip breakfast aren't necessarily thinner than those who don't. People who skip breakfast aren't necessarily better able to manage their weight better. They're not healthier necessarily. So you just have to remember that. If you're going to eat breakfast, though, I highly encourage you to make sure that it is a good protein source. One of my favorite things to eat in the morning is really oatmeal, plain oatmeal. I'm telling you, I do the plain now. I've weaned myself off of it, which was hard because I was a peaches and cream, strawberries and cream kind of girl with all the sugar in the morning, right? Plain oatmeal. I will add some type of fruit or raisins or something like that. I add chia seeds for healthy fats. And then I'll add protein powder. I love to add protein powder to my oatmeal so that there's enough protein in it. Now, if you're someone who likes to eat eggs, perfect. Eat 2 to 3 eggs in the morning. Balance it out with a carbohydrate that's good for you. Like do some sourdough toast or something like that, and then put it all together, right? So great source right there. Have a good, healthy breakfast. Number 3, my tip for you is to increase your activity. I know that weight is primarily managed in the kitchen, but overall health and weight management assistance happens with movement. And please do a movement that you actually like. Please don't do a movement that you hate. Okay. A lot of people will come to me and they're like, well, I've tried this and I go to the gym and I can't stick with it and I just hate it. Stop doing that. That's not the exercise for you. If you're someone that wants to just walk, but I do recommend a couple of things. I do recommend Pilates. I do recommend yoga for women who are mid-30s and up, right? So that perimenopause can start around 35. I do recommend that. I recommend weightlifting for all women. All women, please weightlift, and all men, okay? And here's the thing. You don't have to wake up tomorrow and be like, I'm starting my workout routine tomorrow. I'm going to work out 30 minutes every single day. If you're going from 0 to 30 minutes, you're more likely to fail and not be able to stick it out. You're going to be like those January folks that join the gym. They've got this. And next thing you know, it's the 3rd week of January and suddenly the gym is empty. That's what's going to happen. So what I recommend is if you're doing 0 movements now, 0 throughout the day, you're a couch potato, that's okay. Start with 5 minutes. Start with 10 minutes and then gradually increase that. Okay. That is what I recommend. It's small baby steps. If you go from 0 to 60, you're more likely to get injured. You're more likely to quit when you're tired and your muscles ache. So just take it baby steps at a time. And one of the best things I've ever heard is just if you can do anything for 1 minute. It was a great TED Talk. Please go find it. She talked about you can do anything for 1 minute. So if you're having a struggle and you don't want to get up for even that 5 minutes of exercise for your first day, just tell yourself, I can do it for 1 minute. And more often than not, you're going to find that you're going to do your full time and not just the 1 minute. So the goal though for adults is 30 minutes a day of physical activity about moderate intensity. Okay. And that is not a lot. And I have to be honest, when it comes to weight management, that's not enough sometimes. Okay. But that's a great place to start when you're not doing very much at all. Okay. Number 4, increase your vegetables and whole grains. Everybody says it all the time. Please eat more vegetables. Please, 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 please. I don't care if they're canned. I mean, it's not preferred to have canned, but I don't care if they're canned. Frozen is great. Fresh is great. Canned is great if you're not eating it. Please eat your vegetables and increase them. I'm not a veggie eater in the morning. I don't eat vegetables in the morning. I like sweet stuff in the morning, and that's fine. But at lunch and dinner, I make sure that I have adequate vegetables. So please, if you are eating like 1 serving of vegetables a day, add another serving. It's baby steps. Whole grains are great, but unless you have like an illness or a disease that you can't do whole grains. So for instance, I have irritable bowel syndrome. So whole grains can sometimes irritate that. So I do a lot of sourdough bread, but I do a lot of things other than that. Like I'll eat a lot more vegetables. Okay. Please increase it slowly, take your baby steps and try different ones. Don't just eat carrots. Okay. You got to try the different ones. Every vegetable has a different profile of micronutrients that you need to get. In season is best. If you can get it, fresh is best. I live in the Central Valley of California where we just have a plethora. We are ag country. Okay. But if you don't have that luxury, just get what you can. And frozen is completely fine. All right. Number 5 is to manage your stress. This is the one that most people just pass by. and forget about. Okay. When it comes to weight management, especially as women, but even as men, you need to manage your stress. And a couple of things that come to mind when managing your stress is number one, you need to sleep. We need sleep. Our bodies need to reset. And if you are not getting enough sleep, you are stressing your body out. It will not function well. Okay. So please get anywhere from 6 to 8 hours of sleep. Try to be consistent about it. Get outdoors once a day. Get some sunshine the best that you can. Put your feet in the grass. That grounding exercise really does help pull you into your body. That is science, I promise you, and can really help with stress relieving. Okay. Stress is a big part of our lives right now. It's part of our society. So what we need to do is figure out a way to de-stress. There are many different methods that you can do it. You don't have to do the same ones that I do. You don't have to do the same ones that your neighbor does. You just need to do something that works for you. Meditation really has been proven to reduce your stress levels. With that, breath work also, one of my favorite anti-anxiety or anti-stress breathing techniques that really has helped me to calm down my nervous system is I will breathe in for 4, out for 8, hold at the bottom for 4, and then just keep repeating it. And it pulls you into your body and helps you de-stress and regulate your nervous system a little bit. You got to de-stress, because when our stress levels are high, especially consistently, our cortisol levels are high, which means your body's not able to manage its weight the way you want it to manage its weight. It's going to manage its weight the way the cortisol wants to manage its weight. So that is a whole other topic though for a really other time. It's like the hormones and everything. But you got to manage your stress. Walking is very helpful for stress management, journaling. I like to talk things out. That's just kind of what I do. As you can tell, I'm a talker. So talking things out. Stress management can be going to church, being spiritual at home. It can be lighting a candle, taking a bath, whatever it is for you that might work. Find a way to de-stress and do it every single day. Have a routine, because one day missed, it just builds up. So here are the 5 tips that I have for weight management for you. And then the number 1 is to learn to eat mindfully. If you are struggling with that, please come find me. I'm on Instagram primarily at Nutrition by Keirnin. You can also find me on my website, same thing, www.nutritionbykeirnin.com. We can work together. I do take health insurance. So if you live in California, you just need a doctor's referral. Eat mindfully, okay? Eat breakfast is number 2. Increase your activity is number 3. Number 4 is increasing your vegetable and whole grain consumption. And then number 5 is you got to manage your stress, friends. Okay. So let me know in the comments if this information was beneficial to you. Please, only positive comments. I know people can go crazy and put negative things. I'm just someone who just doesn't really need that, honestly. I'm just trying to provide a service to people, free information, so that they can help better their health. So comment, like, subscribe if you like the information I'm doing. This is YouTube. I'm new to it. So if you don't subscribe to me, you don't view me, you don't like me, you don't comment on me, I get lost in the shuffle of everything. So I want to say thank you so much for being here, and let me know. Let me know if you try any of these tips and if you like them. Okay. Thank you so much. Bye.